All right, what's going on, people? I ain't hanging out with my boy Jesse Owen Aston.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, just hanging in there.
And also, and you have a lot of titles, so I don't want to say them. I'll let you say them. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. I do anything in music, really, but I produce, but I'm also an artist. I release things under my initials, JOA. I play in a band called World is Watching. Awesome. We're like an alternative band, but do a lot of engineering too, songwriting, whatever I can do in music just to,
nice. How long has the music been in your DNA, man?
Wow. So I started playing guitar when I was like maybe 12.
Sheesh.
So, yeah, I'm just going to put an age on me.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no. So like 20 years.
Is this something you started yourself, or your parents or somebody around you said, hey?
So, interesting story. I was actually super into baseball when I was a kid.
Nice.
So I was a pitcher, and I was really like in Little League and stuff. Okay. And one day I had to go to tryouts, and my arm had been hurting me that day. I didn't really understand why. Yeah. So I had to throw a ball from like third base to first base, which is like, that's a long distance.
Yeah.
So like I veered back to throw the ball, and my arm snapped in half. Like I had like a cyst in the middle of my arm, I guess.
Wow.
So it took forever to heal, and I had a guitar like in my room, like just chilling in the corner. Yeah. But I hadn't really messed with it that much. But I was so bored because I couldn't play baseball anymore. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just start picking up this thing. So
you got to switch sports.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kind of took it as like, you know what? Maybe baseball wasn't what I was meant to do after all. Maybe I'll just play guitar from now on. So.
Nice. So we started with the guitar. Did you go straight into a band, or did you start exploring with other things like music production, or what was your first step with that?
First, I just started with bands in high school, like starting bands and putting people together, and just getting loud on the weekends and stuff. But then I started to get into like going to blues jams. So at like a very early age, I was like, when I was 15, I was like going out to all kinds of blues jams to play.
Nice. And are blues jams, are those more like, I guess, like blues open mics where you just sign up and play? Okay.
Yeah, but they're, you're playing standards and stuff. So it's like, if you know one blues song, you kind of know them all. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I would go to those, and then I started to get into recording. So like I bought a 4-track, or my mom got me a 4-track. Nice. And I started like messing around with making music ideas and like bringing them to tape and preserving them, Nice. And then I fell in love with that.
So that's where you got serious with it, sounds like.
Yeah, I started to really get serious like late in high school, where I was like, anything I did outside of school was just music all the time.
So was it like different genres you explored with, or simply just one? What are those genres you explored?
Yeah, it started off, with rock, because that's the traditional like thing to play if you're going to be a guitar guy, I guess. So I started with rock, blues, and then I started to get into more hip-hop stuff, pop music, industrial even. Like I really got into like 9 Inch Nails, or like what I really liked was like artists that were able to combine like organic stuff with like the more or electronic stuff. Nice. And like blend the two together.
Any artists in general you want to name?
9 Inch Nails is great. I was really into God Lives Underwater, Self. Who else? I'm trying to think of other artists that did that. Those were the main ones, but I also really like a lot of songwriters. So Elvis Costello is one, Bruce Springsteen, Bright Eyes. There's so many. Yeah. No, you go on and all of them.
So you okay. So you started working with a 4-track, I believe.
Yeah.
And then so I guess with the music recording, and here's the thing. I'm sorry if I jump around too much, but with the change of music, how it started getting more digital and things like that. How did you cope with that in a way?
I kind of just adapted, I guess, and I still do a lot of both. So it's like, I'll even sometimes like there's like a cassette deck over here that like sometimes I'll dump stuff to and go back and forth. So it's like if I want something to sound like it's more from that era, then I can use that. But now there are even plugins that do that same thing that get pretty close to achieving that. Definitely. So to answer your question, it didn't really affect me much. Yeah. I just kind of kept doing what I was doing, and I never really got too far into the analog world where it wasn't difficult for me to break away from it.
Oh, okay. Does that make sense? So it's almost like there's really no point in you trying to keep up with the Joneses because you already got what you're doing.
Right.
Okay.
It's like I was already like in the middle when I started doing this, digital was already coming out like as the forefront of the way to do things. So it didn't really affect me that much.
Nice. So I mean, and you play with a band.
Play with a band.
So let's talk about the band life. Let's.
Sure.
I mean, is it U.S. traveling? Are you doing shows all over, or is it more like a local thing? Which you know.
We're focusing more on like stuff around the Southeast.
Nice.
You know, we don't play a ton in Atlanta. From time to time, every couple of months, we'll play a show. But we'd much rather be like playing outside of the city.
Yeah.
And trying to get out in front of new people. Atlanta is a tough city for a rock band, I feel like, because it's a hub for hip hop and R&B and rap, but people don't necessarily go out to rock shows, especially not like local, you know. And like a lot of the venues are closing down. Like one just closed down in Little 5 Points. 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So Star Bar, rest in peace, no more.
Man.
So yeah, we're trying to get out and play in front of people who like I don't know, go into a city where there's not much happening, as opposed to playing a lot in a city where there's constantly things happening. Yeah.
So with of course, I know like you mentioned like a venue shutting down and things changing. I mean, how do you feel like you still keep your heart beating in a way when it comes to that?
I guess the spirit of it is just in the performing. I mean, it's not the wisest thing to do to want to even be in a rock band right now, right? It's like not a very popping off genre. Like people, I mean, what was the top 10 songs of rock songs on Billboard that just released? They were all like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that is not a rock band, people.
And I was gonna get into
Come on.
Go ahead, but no.
But you know what I mean? It's like it's not necessarily. And what we are doing is like pretty loud, and it's kind of like based around 90s alternative kind of thing.
And that's the thing. And once again, yes, it seems like it changed, but it seems like the people who are true to it didn't change it. Like, it seems like the industry sort of change it and like try to relabel it. And yes, you mentioned Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Of course, no knock to them.
No, I don't hate them. I just don't think they're a rock band.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Just they just have the same drum and screaming.
Yeah. It's pop music.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I mean, is that frustrating to a certain point when you?
Not really.
I don't use the word frustrating. I know that's a deep word, but is that like, man, this ain't.
It just makes me want to do it more. Honestly, it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, if that's where we're headed, but I think that ultimately the feeling that I get when I'm like playing on stage or when I'm yelling or if I'm ripping a guitar solo or something, like the joy that I get from doing that is something that like I can't replicate anywhere else really. So it's like I'm not going to pretend to be a rock band but do pop music, and I'd rather be genuine to that and just do what we do as a band, and hopefully people get it, and if they don't, that's cool too. Definitely. We're just doing it to do it.
Definitely. And of course you record music, and you record all genres.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, are you what's your input on today's music? And of course I'm not saying today's music, but we're old, but with the music that's out now, what's your take on it?
I love that there's a lot of like, it's a melting pot of different genres and stuff happening. Like, you can't really tell what's on country radio anymore from what's on pop radio. There's an element of that that's really cool. I think some people that I talk to, and we kind of feel the same way, is like the essence of a song is sort of disappearing, where it's like the art form of songwriting is sort of like taking a backseat because there's just so much stuff, and then there's shorter attention spans. People are just writing hooks basically over a song, so they don't really tell a story, and they're short, and they don't have bridges anymore, which is fine. But I guess I'm a little traditional in the sense that I like songs, like songs that like can connect to people on like an emotional level, and aren't just about like, pardon my French, but bullshit.
Do it.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, do we really need another song about Gucci?
Yeah.
I don't think we do, but apparently there's a demand for it that I'm not understanding. But it's starting to get old. I think some other people feel that same way. And I just want to bring like if I like people who write songs. Like I like working with Sabine because I feel like we're making songs, but we're producing them in a cool way. That's got a little bit of what's going on here, but we're getting back to the kind of like, the song.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to get to next. When you're working with artists, what are you looking for? For artists that you say, yes, I want to work with this artist, and I want to be, hands-on and make it happen.
Originality, but you know what? More than anything, like it's so hard to find people that are just cool.
Yeah.
Like that are genuine and nice and not like fully themselves. Like so many people that I meet and have met from working in the music industry are egotistical and not fun to work with, and they're controlling, and I can deal with that stuff, it's cool, but it's so much more pleasurable to do what I do whenever I'm working with someone who's like easy to get along with, has cool ideas, knows what they want to do, it's not a dick about it, and we just vibe and we work together.
Definitely. So like, let's say you're working with an amazing artist like Sabine. Yeah. Let's say like, what is y'all's your plan, like your day to day when y'all are in the studio?
Usually Sabine will come in with an idea of something, whether it be like a chord progression or a melody, and I kind of just use what I know from working to help that come to a place where it's a little bit more finalized. And that might be like repeating a section or like moving one section earlier or, arranging the song basically. So we'll kind of do an arrangement and then we'll start vibing on some sounds. Usually start with drums or some sort of a beat or, just a sound that we both like or, it can be whatever. It's different every time, to be honest.
I got you. I mean, like you said, like a sound that you both like, and then I guess y'all just feed off of that? Is that how it works?
Eventually, and Sabine usually will tell me that she hates everything. Wow. And then I just get frustrated. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's really a pleasure, and we get along really well. Sometimes we have things, but that's normal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you work with two creative people. That'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you know when a track is finished? A track that you don't mind saying, okay, yeah, I'll put my name on this. This is.
It's hard to put a finger on when that moment is, but
really?
Yeah,
oh,
but
wow. That's awesome.
I feel it's definitely a feeling of it's just. There's not one indicator necessarily, but eventually you'll be working on stuff, and then one day you're like, you know what? It sounds like it's pretty much done. It sounds done, right? It sounds done. Yeah. I think this is done. Okay. Wow, this is actually done.
Oh,
great.
Wow.
All right. Cool. Let's print it and get it mastered or whatever. That's usually how it goes. It's usually like you work and you work and you work and you work, and then eventually you're like, you know what? This is satisfying to me. This makes here's one good indicator.
Okay, there we go.
One good indicator.
I knew there was something.
When I'm not sitting down anymore.
Oh wow. Talk about
I found that when I'm not sitting down anymore, that's when I'm like, this is making me want to like get up, move around, not be on the computer, not doing that. You know what I mean? It's making me want to like get up and like move around. Dance around, like I'm feeling it. Wow. Once I started feeling like I want to get up and do stuff, that's probably a pretty good indicator that you're getting close to being done.
Awesome. And actually, I don't know if we mentioned it. I mean, we'll let people know this is your spaceship right here.
This is where I work every day. Yeah, I wake up every day. I come straight here, and I'm here until like 4 a.m, and then I drive straight home, and then that's it.
4 a.m?
Usually, yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm here super late all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you. So. And of course, this day and age, the shift of a lot more home studios being built and things like that. What is your, advice you give to people who want to get into it or who are already into it and just aren't happy with what they're doing? The sound that they're putting out.
Yeah, people that are coming up now are in a very unprecedented world where you can definitely make a record on your laptop from the second you buy it. They come with GarageBand. You can make a record in GarageBand, so it's like this powerful thing. I think you should be encouraged by that and realize that the opportunities to create stuff is pretty much endless. if you can think about it now, you can do it, and usually you can do it within the context of a computer.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's really no excuses.
Yeah.
Like, I had a ton of excuses early on. Like, when I had the 4-track,
yeah,
and I'm learning to do this, I had every excuse to be like, you know what, this is too hard. You know, I have to do all this stuff. I have to, like, program a beat into a drum machine and then, like, cut it up. And then, like, if I didn't get it right the first time, you mean I actually have to redo it until I get it right? Like, you have comping now. You can do it a million times and then make your best version. Like, you know, there's really no excuse to be lazy.
Yeah.
And
yeah, let them know. Thank you.
Somehow, laziness still exists.
Yeah,
it's unreal. So don't be lazy. You have no excuses. The possibilities are endless. Go.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was a lot of gems you just dropped on us, man. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate that, man. But no,
No
so
problem.
I mean, before we go, I definitely just want to say, man, please let us know how people can contact you. Anything, you know, working on, let us know. Tell us everything.
Thanks. Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram, Jesse Owen Aston. I don't post a ton, but I do post stuff from time to time. Got a new song that I'm going to post in a couple weeks that I'm putting out that Sabine's doing the artwork for, actually.
Sabine in the building.
Yeah, she didn't even mention this, but she's actually a great visual artist, too.
There we go. Okay,
yeah.
nice.
So, yeah, she's been doing some cover artwork for me, and it's awesome. So I'm going to put out a new single in a couple months. Then there's some more World's Watching stuff, too. World is Watching Official is the tag on Instagram for that. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Man, we appreciate you, man.
No, we appreciate you.
You're
Thank
the
you so
man.
much for coming here and spending some time with us.
Please invite me back.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Cool. You heard it. We're invited back. All right.
Yeah.
We're done.
All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Yeah,
That
of
was
course.
awesome, man.